Okay. So what happened first? You taking a bigger role in Ozzy's musical life or falling in love? Like, how does that, what's the sequence there?
Taking care of Ozzy. He was married, 2 little babies, and it was one of those cases of having such belief in him that this is going to work. And
did you just feel it?
yeah. And then when, of course, when we met Randy, it was, you know, we were like the 3 Musketeers.
Right.
And I managed Randy, and he was under contract to me, not my father.
I didn't know that part of the story.
No.
Very good.
And I learned from my father.
Well, you are his daughter.
And it was just a very magical time when you believe in something so much and your whole being is in it. And I had a lot to prove. Ozzy had a lot to prove. Randy had a lot to prove.
Sure.
So it was like, that's all we did was work.
Would you say at that point your faith was greater in Ozzy than Ozzy's faith in himself?
Yes, because he didn't believe in himself. He kept saying, I know I can't do it without Sabbath. Oh. You know, nobody will want me. Nobody will remember me. They won't care about me. Yeah. And I'm like, nah, you can do it.
Yeah. I have this beautiful memory of playing basketball in my front yard. You know, we had a little hoop, and they said, coming up, the new song from Ozzy Osbourne, the former lead singer of Black Sabbath. You know, but then they went to commercial.
Yeah.
So I'm just out there shooting baskets. And so it would have been Crazy Train, I think, would have been the first song. And it was that one of those moments in your life where you stop and you go, what is this? Because I'd heard all the Sabbath records. And I certainly recognized his voice, but it was like, it felt like this lightning bolt, like something is happening.
Yeah.
And I couldn't wait to hear it again. I felt like I was at the middle of something so new. I could really feel it. And I was, 14 years old playing basketball. But I remember stopping and just looking at the boombox because whatever you all had created in that moment, it was shocking. It had that, like great music has a way of feeling like you're fast forwarding in the timeline all of a sudden. So back to your father's on the business side. So did you guys have an amicable, okay, I'm going to manage him, or he didn't refused, or like, just walk me through the business side of it all.
He wasn't actively working, my father. He was there, sure, but he wasn't actually physically doing anything. I was doing
Oz is under contract
to my father.
To your daddy. So how does that work?
Well, I was doing all the work. He paid him his advance for his first album, which was $50,000 for Blizzard. But we back-to-back made 2 albums.
Right. While you were waiting for the first one.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, was that waiting because you guys knew you had a hot record and you were trying to set it up?
I just said, we're going to spend so long touring the world that we need to have a record come right away. So we did them back to back.
Yeah.
And my father hadn't paid Ozzy or Randy for the second album.
Okay.
And I was like, you can't do this. They won't. And I would lie and I'd say they're refusing to go on stage until you pay them their record.
Sure.
So I was like playing mind games with him. And because I wasn't on his side, that was really the thing that broke.
He saw you as siding more with...
Yes.
Okay.
And then he would be him against us. And we were this force, and it was just like breaking worldwide.
Sure.
And he wasn't a part of it, and they kept saying, Randy's terrible, he's got to go, because...
That's crazy.
They didn't have control of Randy.
I see.
So they wanted Randy out.
Okay.
And we're like, no, he ain't going nowhere. He's staying. And my father, we would hardly speak. And then 1 year went to 1.5 years, and it was hostile. And
but Ozzy's still under contract, your daddy?
Still under contract.